What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm checking out this Davidson Warrior. This is a Pro Series Warrior. Dave is from the band Revocation. You guys probably know Revocation. I don't need to tell you at this point. But you know, Revocation is one of those bands that every time I listen to it, I'm like, why don't I listen to this more often? It's super sick. Anyways, I have not done anything to this guitar. As usual, we will set this guitar up. I will go through things that I notice during the setup. We'll check it out after the setup. Now, in this instance, normally what I would do is I would show you the pickups, like a clean demonstration, but this guitar the setup is a little bit wonky, like directly out of the box, you know? So I'm gonna hold off on that until I get it actually set up. Oh, the amp's not even on. God, what am I doing here? Also, disclaimers here, this video is not sponsored. I did borrow this guitar from the lovely people over at Zounds. I do have an affiliate link for that down in the description if you want to use it, or don't. You don't have to, but it's down there if you want to use it. They let me borrow this guitar just because it's one that I personally wanted to check. Like, I keep seeing this guitar and I'm like, God damn, that's a cool looking guitar. I want to play that thing. So I just asked them if I could borrow one and check it out. All right, so big box. Oh, like I said, spoiler, Jackson. A Jackson in a big old box. That's something. Oh my God. This is kind of cut open already. Is this? It is. Ha! Okay, this is in here. There are so many of these like foam pads everywhere because this guitar has so many points on it. The bag opened up and I could hear something clanking around. It's the whammy bar. The whammy bar fell out of the bag in transit, so we gotta fish the whammy bar out of this maze of cardboard. We'll do that in a minute. But let's just get this thing out of the... Jesus. Let's just get this thing out of the... Look, you can see the end sticking out. Can you tell what kind of guitar it is right away? Oof, this is nice. I'm not gonna want to send this back. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. I wonder what happens if I buy it with my own affiliate link. Anyways. Wow, dude. Bag's not gonna survive. I'm trying to keep all the packaging intact because I sent it back, but... Yeah. Look at that bad boy, huh? This is the Davidson from Revocation 7-string Warrior. Oof, yeah, this is gonna be a hard one to give back. Overall, this is a very cool and very beautiful guitar, but I do want to plug this in and just test it out. Now, yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun to play. And it came set up with the action a little too low, which is weird for me to say. It feels like blasphemy for me to say that. But it does buzz quite a bit, which is why I want to do the pickup demonstration later on after I do a setup and can kind of adjust this a little bit here. But enough blathering, let me read you the specs. This is the Jackson Pro Series Davidson Warrior WR7 7-string. It has a mahogany body with an ash top and a satin finish. And on the subject of that, I really love the top on this guitar. It has that open pore look, but it's actually smooth, which is just really the best of both worlds, I feel like. It features a maple neck with neck through construction and a speed neck profile. I feel like I said neck so many times, goddamn. Jackson speed neck profile with a 12 to 16 inch compound radius and an ebony fingerboard. We have pearloid piranha tooth inlays, 24 jumbo frets. I'm assuming these are nickel frets. They would probably say on here if they were stainless steel, so we're just gonna go with their nickel. It has a scale length of 25.5 inches. It has a Floyd Rose tremolo and FRT SSO 2000 double locking tremolo. I'm not really familiar with 7-string Floyd Rose tremolo systems, but it feels comparable to a Floyd Rose 1000 to me. It comes with DiMarzio Davidson signature Imperium humbuckers in the bridge and the neck. For the controls, we have a volume knob with a push-pull coil split, 1 tone knob, and a 3-way toggle switch. And this whole package comes in at $1,449.99 at the time of making this video. All right, let me explain what's going on with the rig here and then I'll give you my first impressions. I am running through a 5150. Now, while this isn't a Revocation tone recreation video or anything like that, I just thought, you know, I might as well try and recreate Dave Davidson's rig as closely as I can, you know, while I'm doing this. He uses EVH 5153 heads. I don't have that. I do have an EVH 5150 iconic. However, I feel like the OG block letter is closer to the 5153 than the iconic is for a bunch of different reasons. I will let you use your own imagination on that one. I did compare those in my 5150 iconic video like 2 years ago or whatever when that thing came out. Woo! I'm playing so loud I actually vibrated a pedal off the shelf up there. But we were running into I have a block letter not a 5153. So we're running into my block letter into a Marshall 1960A cabinet. I'm miking that up with a Voodoo Ribbon 1 microphone from SE Electronics. I'm using the Devil by my company, Obsidian Audio. Look at this. I'm even wearing the shirt and everything today. I'm using the Devil to boost this amplifier. If you want more information on this pedal, it is linked down in the description of like all my videos, or you can check the little bar, you know, the merchandise bar, if you're on your phone, whatever. So that's the rig. And so far, my impressions with this guitar, there's a couple things right away that I noticed. Number one, when this guitar came to me, the frets were a little bit sharp on the edge here. And I let this guitar acclimate to the room. I actually like put a humidifier in this room for that reason. I let this guitar acclimate to the room and it's fine now. It actually feels great. I haven't played any 7-string Jackson guitars up until this point. So, you know, shame on me, but I'm not really a big 7-string guy. So, you know, it is what it is. But, this neck profile is amazing. This is the best neck profile I've ever felt on any 7-string guitar that I've played. Take that with a grain of salt because that's not many. Now on this Warrior, we don't have the bevels that we do with the normal Warrior. It is boxy. It does add to the aesthetic. You can see in this camera here. It does add to the aesthetic of this guitar, I feel like, but it does come at the cost of a little bit of comfort. It's not bad, but it is a little bit noticeable. A lot of other things, it's gonna be really hard to gauge until I get this guitar set up. I do love this guitar though right away. It is very, very cool. Like I said, we will do the pickup demonstration later after I set up this guitar because the strings are just really low and they're buzzing quite a bit. So I feel like that wouldn't be a really great representation of the sound of the pickups. Yeah, so with all that said, I feel like the thing to do right now is just to go get this guitar set up so that way I can really get a feel for it and, you know, give you guys like my opinions. Let's do it. All right, the Dave Davison Warrior is on my de facto workbench. I forgot to grab strings. Jesus. For the strings on this guitar, I am using this Stringjoy pack of 7s. This is the only 7-string pack that I actually have available to me right now. That's why I'm using it. It's 10-60. I didn't really think this video out that far in advance, and I'm just actually happy that I have a set of 7-string strings on hand. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I have the strings off. There's a few things that I want to point out right away. Number one, I mentioned this, but this top is just so cool. You know, we have a satin finish on this, and it is open pore. You can feel the grain in the wood right here, but it is not as open pore as like the Jeff Loomis Kelly. Here, let me... If you look at the grain on the Jeff Loomis Kelly, the grain is very, very deep here. It is very, very defined. You might like that, you might hate that, but I feel like the top on this guitar is just a really good compromise because, you know, it's smooth. It's smooth, but it still has that sort of open grain look and a little bit of the feel, but just, you know, not as dramatic. I know I might be getting hung up on this, but I think it's a very beautiful guitar and I just want to point it out. The other thing that I wanted to point out here is that this Floyd Rose being a series that I've never heard of, especially because, you know, I'm not really super familiar with 7-string tremolos, it does feel like a 1500 in a lot of ways. This doesn't feel quite like a special. I think they actually make special 7-string, so it would probably say special somewhere on here if it was a special. Everything else about this guitar just is super high quality. The fretboard is a little bit dirty for a new guitar. I don't know if I can pick that up on camera, but we're gonna polish this thing up and clean it. Definitely just a little bit dirty for a new guitar. Now this guitar didn't come directly from Jackson, so who knows, this could have been a return that Zell's had or something. I have no idea, but you know, just thought I'd mention it. Okay, let's get this thing strung up. Okay, so a few things on the back of the guitar here. This plate was actually really difficult to get out. Actually, I had to get this little tiny tip bit and pry it out from the holes for the screws. It's just cut almost perfectly, so that thing was in there super snug. Anyways, I don't know if anyone cares about that. So this thing is fully loaded up with all the springs. Now it is a 7-string tremolo, so I guess that makes sense. There's more tension. You probably want more springs in the back to counter that tension. You know, I would upgrade these personally. I would put different springs in here, but that's neither here nor there. This is the block that we have in here. And you can see it's like this smooth sort of block. This is the block out of a Floyd Rose special, and you can see the difference here. They definitely are different metals. So, you know, maybe this is more in line with like a 1000 series. I'm gonna have to look this up, but from my uninformed perspective right now, it looks to be more in line with a 1000 series tremolo. Looking over here on the neck, we do have this finish, and then we have this transition to the natural finish of the neck, and I love this. I think this is so cool. However, there is a little bit of a line here. It's like it got taped, and then the finish went over the tape right here, so we do have a little bit of a line. If this was my guitar, if I was keeping this, I would try to buff this out. You can feel it. It's not a huge deal, but it is slightly distracting, and like I said, if this was a guitar I was keeping, I would try to get rid of that. I would try to buff that out. But yeah, that's it. Let's finish setting it up. We are back, and man, this guitar is a ripper, dude. Sounds much, much better now. I had to relieve the neck a little bit. The neck was a little bit over tightened when I received this guitar, so it was like bowing back, you know, causing the strings to fret out a little bit. But now, it sounds much, much thicker. Yeah, dude, sounds killer. But like I mentioned before, let's go over to a clean channel, or like a clean-ish channel. It's a 5150 block letter. Like, give me a break here. But we're gonna go over to the clean channel. Here's the bridge pickup. Oh, let's turn the boost pedal off, yeah? Here's the coil split. Middle position. Middle with the coil split. You know, I like the middle position with the coil split. It's like kind of spanky. Neck position. Coil split neck. Yeah, there you go, dude. Let's go back to the chugs. Let's turn the boost off real quick so you can hear it with just the amp. I have a ton of opinions on this guitar, and they're all pretty much good. Surprise, surprise, I vibe with this guitar a lot. I think that this guitar plays incredibly well, and I would liken it to the other Pro Series Jacksons that I have, that being the white King V that's over there, and also the baritone that I have over here. Now, one of the things I would say, if you're interested in buying one of these guitars, I would probably upgrade at least some of the components on the Floyd Rose Tremolo. First thing I would upgrade right away are the springs in the back. I think the springs that it comes with are a little bit like noisy, clanky sort of sounding. Like you can get the red noiseless Floyd Rose springs if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, you can always throw some tape or some foam in the cavity there to get the spring noise under control from those. But I would just opt to upgrade the springs. I would also put a brass block on this, and that's just for the feel. However, this does feel a little bit better than a Floyd Rose Special, in my opinion. The thing that I always notice right away when it comes to the different levels of Floyd Roses, if you try to flutter on a Special, it doesn't quite flutter like that. But this tremolo actually reacts pretty well. And you know, the other thing is with the arms, these things always come loose on the Special series. That's not untrue about the 1000 or 1500 series either, but it's definitely something that I personally notice in between like a Special and an original for that matter. And like I said, I think the 1000 and 1500 are right in between the Special and the original. Other than that, this guitar rips on. You might think to yourself, for a guitar that's almost $1,500, like, why would you have to change anything on it? That's true. You definitely don't have to. This is just something that like I noticed for my own playing style that I appreciate. I don't normally play passive pickups, but I think the pickups in this guitar sound really good. The ergonomics do leave something to be desired here. I mean, we basically have just a giant block of a guitar, if you know what I mean. Just that little bevel does make a difference here, especially like the forearm, you know, resting your forearm on it or whatever. This has some sharp corners. There's no belly cut or anything like that, but the cutaway back here in the neck, man, oof, it's just so nice. This is the same cutaway that my other Warriors have as well, but I would have preferred some ergonomic beveling here, but I think that's a price you pay. You know, you're trading like brutality for ergonomics, if that makes sense. And then the very last little criticism that I will say is, you know, we do have that paint line right here on the neck. It's kind of like, damn dude, this is a Pro Line Series guitar. You'd think it would not have a paint line on the neck, but really it's not a huge deal. That could be easily fixed. All that said, this is probably the most comfortable 7-string that I think I have ever played. I love the feel of it. I love the way it looks. Oh, I wanted to try this out because people always ask about this, you know, when it comes to these types of guitars. People always want to know about the neck dive. So let's see how bad the neck dive is with this. Like you can see here, I'm not really experiencing any neck dive at all. I mean, there's a little bit of it, but the thing I would say to people that always ask me about neck dive is if you are having neck dive problems with the guitar, A, get a bigger strap. And then B, if it's still a huge problem, look at the placement of your strap buttons. But you know, there's not really any neck dive on this guitar at all. It just rips, dude. So overall, I actually really love this guitar. I'm gonna have a hard time sending it back. All right, thank you guys so much for being here with me. If you like this video, make sure to let YouTube know by hitting the like button. If you really like what I do here on the channel, consider subscribing or joining these beautiful people over here on Patreon, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.